All right, and discussing kind of the Ouroboros of wokeness that always ends up eating its own tail. One of the things that I like, the more I think about it, the stranger it gets, is to think about this. Okay, in the 90s, one of the most fundamentally, the beginning of kind of everybody hanging out together was MMA. Jiu-jitsu was a major unifier of all kinds of people. And and everybody, yeah, and people from styles all over the world were in meeting each other. Then remember, nobody knew much about Brazil. Like in the 80s and 90s, there was not much to know about Brazil. It was a country that was kind of recovering from some type of dictatorship or something. But Joe Rogan made Brazil, like the comeback of Brazil was not soccer. It was jiu-jitsu. And that was a major thing that Joe Rogan did. Joe Rogan popularized jiu-jitsu, which is now one of the most popular sports and martial arts planet-wide, species-wide, among both sexes, such that like there's now an industry of female jiu-jitsu coaches and female jiu-jitsu competitions. Female jiu-jitsuka are notorious. There's notorious videos of people trying to do something to jiu-jitsuka who are female, and they get locked out hard as hell, and the police come to fucking arrest the guy and stuff like that. Female MMA, Ronda Rousey and all that. That almost none of that could have happened without Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is literally a source of diversity, the real thing, the real diversity, where you have a bunch of different people doing something, and he not only acknowledges it, he celebrates it, interviews people, popularizes it, and makes them rich. Let me just put it this way. What ethnicity is Eddie Bravo? What's his ethnicity? When you see like Lyoto Machida, people underestimate the import of like knowing that Lyoto Machida even exists. Like most people don't know. There's a huge number of Japanese people in Brazil, just like there's a huge number of Chinese people in Chile and Peru, and Japanese in Peru, such as Japanese even had multiple presidencies of Peru, if I remember correctly. And so now that I'm seeing like CNN trying to go after Joe Rogan, and it's like, this guy was the coolness. When CNN was boring, and it was bunko, and well, now it's bunko. Before it was just boring, but then for them to be like the way that they're losing against Joe Rogan is literally like one of the most unfair jiu-jitsu matches you could ever see. I mean, it's like Don Lemon and fucking what's his face, Stelter are trying to fight Rogan in a taekwondo / jiu-jitsu match, and are just being crucifixioned and kicked in the fucking nuts over and over again. Nothing but the nuts. Nothing but nard shots. And omoplatas and like totally outrageous fucking locks that you could barely even get, you know. Nothing but like knee locks and fucking shit. It is beautiful, and it's beautiful to see woke people exposing like, wow, so you're not just uncool, you're made of uncool. Like you're literally the least cool that is ever could be. Like, and then you think about all these dorks from the 90s who were always trying to string it along, you know. They want to be, you know, it's motherfuckers who want to be down. Like an entire generation of motherfuckers on some I want to be down shit. And it's just great to watch them fail. And now it's the beauty of watching them fail, like Dick Van Dyke just tripping over all the furniture in the room. You know, I mean, but this is, yeah, it's just so, because it's this thing. Cool is as cool is. That's it. Cool is as cool is. And that's all, you know. People who don't get it, maybe it's because they can't. And that they might need to accept that. It's like, no, Democrats, now you're all people who are uncool. You can't dance well, you look bad, you dress poorly, you know, you're not likable, you're always listening to the hoes. That was like a big one too, back in the day. Wasn't like anybody, there was things you could not say. You know, it was like, we gave up our seats on the bus. We gave up our seats on the bus, but we also listened to Chunk, who a menace to the game is such. Because he used to be in love, but now he's hating hoes' guts. And motherfuckers just need to understand, it's like, no, you don't get it. You don't get Joe Rogan. You don't get Star Wars. You don't get rap music. You don't get rock. None of rock. Oh my God. Big Crown Records, one of the only labels left. Burger Records and Big Crown, even Burger Records, they try to fucking say, oh, there's sex scandal at Burger Records, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's a rock and roll record label. What are you expecting? Of course motherfuckers are fucking. It's rock music. What? But then you realize, no. It's just